In the coastal town of Miralon, where the waves kissed the shore like an endless promise, lived a quiet girl named Saren, known for one strange habit: she collected sunsets. Not in jars or photographs, but in a small leather book where she wrote down every color the sky ever wore. People called her foolish. They said sunsets couldn't be kept, that dreams belonged only to the reckless. But Saren believed every sunset carried a lesson, a message hidden in its fading light. Her father, a fisherman lost to a storm years ago, once told her, "When the sun falls, it leaves wisdom behind. Gather it, Saren, and you'll never walk in darkness." And so, each evening, while others hurried home, Saren climbed the highest cliff with her book, letting the wind toss her hair as she scribbled notes about golds turning to rose, purples melting into deep blues, and shadows stretching like memories across the earth. But one year, the village suffered its worst drought. Crops died, wells emptied, and people lost hope. They begged the mayor for help, but nothing changed. One night, as Saren watched the sun burn crimson across the water, she noticed something she had never seen before: a strange shimmer, a flicker of light falling straight into the sea like a whisper from the sky. She closed her book and decided to follow it. At dawn, she boarded a small wooden boat, rowing toward the horizon even as villagers warned her she was chasing illusions. But Saren rowed until her arms ached and her voice cracked from calling out to her father's memory. At the edge of the horizon, she found an abandoned lighthouse, old, cracked, forgotten, yet inside burned a flame as bright as a newborn sun. An old keeper sat beside it, weak but smiling. "You saw it," he whispered. "Most people wait for miracles to visit them, but you went searching. That is the difference." He told her the lighthouse flame had the power to guide storms, bring rain, and restore balance, but it needed someone with courage to carry its light home. Saren hesitated, fearing she wasn't strong enough, but the keeper placed the glowing lantern in her hands and said, "This world doesn't need perfect heroes, only brave hearts." With trembling arms, she rowed back against wild winds and rising tides, protecting the flame with her whole body. When she finally reached the shore, drenched and exhausted, her lantern burst into a cascade of radiant gold, shooting beams across the sky. Clouds gathered. Rain followed. The drought ended. The villagers watched in awe as the girl they once mocked saved them with nothing but faith and stubborn hope. Years later, when Saren grew old, children often found her on the cliff again, writing in her sunset book, the lantern resting beside her like an old friend. And whenever someone asked her how she saved the town, she simply smiled and said, "I didn't chase the light. I followed what I loved, and it led me home."